As you can probably tell, today is a special day in honor of Women's History Month. It is, by law, a time dedicated to commemorating and encouraging the study, observance, and celebration of the vital role women in American history have made. It is therefore my great pleasure to call forward three women presently serving on the Common Council: Alderwoman Milele A. Coggs, Marina Dimitrijevic, and JoCasta Zamarripa. And as they come forward, I will let you all know that following these presentations, I will be yielding the chair so that 100% of the business of this meeting will be conducted by women. So please come forward. Alderwoman Dimitrijevic, you're up first.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, President Perez, and thank you for our very first recognition here in these chambers officially of Women's History Month. We're honoring a few women whose work has transformed our own districts and the city, and you can see that on the cookies that we wanted everyone to taste this morning. Well, this may be our first Women's History Month celebration. I can assure you it will not be the last. On Thursday, we will join Alderwoman Coggs in celebrating her famous Girls' Day event here at City Hall, in which we welcome hundreds of young women into the halls of government to learn more about how their experiences and knowledge can and will transform our city's policies and programs, just like our knowledge does today. Not long ago, Alderwoman Coggs was the sole woman sitting on this Common Council floor. And I am so extremely proud to govern alongside her and our colleague JoCasta Zamarripa today. Though there are only 3 of us right now, when JoCasta and I were elected in 2020, there were 5 of us serving at that time, and it was the most women that have ever represented us on the Common Council. We look forward to that number of women on the Common Council becoming 7 or 8 or even 9 as we represent nearly 50% of our city one day. Many folks in this room can tell you while much has improved for women in government, women's labor in general, and especially their work to make meaningful and lasting change, is still often invisible, or worse, made visible in ways that are not always validating or affirming of their tremendous effort and leadership involved in change making. Still, right now, we are in a time of great momentum and change for women in government in the United States. The second most powerful person in the world is a woman, and that is Vice President Kamala Harris. She is not only the first woman, but the first woman of color to hold that position. She has certainly not just broken, but shattered that glass ceiling for all women in public service. Women have always led in movements to improve the world. And when we lead, we often don't secure our own rights and livelihoods. We use our voices to uplift others in ways that hopefully, eventually, after all, will transform even a small portion of our shared world into one marked by opportunity, fairness, and justice for everyone. Milwaukee is no different. We have an extremely rich history of women leaders here, especially around civil rights, housing, labor, education, and even food justice. For these reasons, we are pleased to intentionally make space today and invite all of you here during Women's History Month to pause and recognize on the city's behalf the extremely important contributions of just a few women in our districts whose labor has markedly improved the lives of all residents. I want to thank President Perez, who enthusiastically said yes right away when we made this request. The city clerk's office for funding some of the treats and organizing this, especially the help of Deb. Where is she? Thank you so much for putting this together. Another woman putting things together, thank you. You know I like to do the shout outs. I also want to recognize on behalf of the mayor, our Alicia is here to say one quick word because Mayor Cavalier Johnson wanted to be present and she's here as a liaison to just provide one remark on this joyous occasion. Arlicia McHenry.
Thank you. And on behalf of the mayor, he would like to thank the council members for recommending or recognizing this day. But I also would like to thank the 3 alderwomen who I know initiated this, because I've been here over 23 years and this is the first we've had of this, and so this is amazing. So thank you, ladies, for all your hard work and recognizing such a wonderful day. And I'd like to thank all who have joined us today, especially our female colleagues. I see you out in the audience. You look great, you look beautiful, and enjoy this day and enjoy the month. Thank you on behalf of Mayor Johnson.
Thank you, Arlicia and Mayor Johnson. And with that, I will now turn the mic to Alderwoman Milele Coggs.
Thanks, John.
I know when, well, let me start with good morning. Good morning. Now, we are here celebrating Women's History Month, so I know we got more energy than that. Let's try it again. Good morning. Good morning. All right, all right. When Alderwoman Dimitrijevic came up with the idea of us celebrating at this council meeting some great women and putting together a program, one of the things that she made sure that we have is a little bit of entertainment. And as we sought, the perfect person to be a part of today's celebration, a name rose to the top, and that name is Miss Melissa Blue Muhammad. Melissa Blue, we can clap, it's okay. Melissa Blue is a Milwaukee native and the founder of A La Mode, a restorative space designed for healing experiences through wearable art, Reiki, and sound therapy. Affectionately known as Blue, she is a wife, mother, jeweler, spoken word, and healing artist. After losing her firstborn child during a tragic drowning in 2018, she resigned from her career and pursued her passions. She has since transformed pain into purpose by applying the significance of the materials used in her crafts as a means of facilitating healing for herself and others. Her goal is simple: to offer natural modalities for women to tap into the power of who they are through the art of being rather than doing. I personally, over probably more than a decade, have had the honor of knowing Melissa Blue and witnessing at poetry nights and open mics the power of her words. Today, you guys are gonna be able to bear witness to the wonderful wordsmithing of Miss Melissa Blue.
Good morning.
Morning.
Thank you. Introduction. My girls. Yes, I am all that and a bag of chips. Don't forget the spicy salsa and French onion dip. A Sam's Club tub of strawberry licorice, and it's not just me. See, we, my girls, are a gift. Now, they say in comparison to their size, some of Earth's strongest creatures are ants, but I've seen the woman bend down and lift the whole globe onto her back, secure it into place with some handmade crocheted shoulder straps, and then stand upright and carry it around like it's a knapsack and still look fly. And if you've ever been told you weren't beautiful, you no longer have to believe that, because you were made in the image of the divine, so just let the mirror be your feedback. And I dare you to look yourself in the eye and call God ugly, fat, or too black. It's time to retract some of these age-old tales and start reverting them into facts. See, actually, it was more than just some babies to whom we gave birth. We labored the pain to pop out a perfected universe. And the nighttime sky is full of all of our greatness and vastness, which is marveled by the whole world, just like when a woman walks past us. Yet at times we treat ourselves like the lost thoughts that wash ashore when everyone else is too scared to go deep. We'd rather get wrestled in waves when it's still waters underneath. But we are peace, and as unique as God's one teardrop that spilled, splattered, and formed the 4 oceans. We are the force that acted on the body, thus causing the first law of motion through our hips. We are the full gloss lips that uttered that creative phrase, let there be light. We are the ancestral traces of feminine pioneers that chose to both love and fight. We are goddess in physical form, the functional fragments of Isis, Ma'at, Bastet, and Hathor. We built Ra's boat of 1,000,000 years and test sailed it through the underworld. My girls, we are more than just the best thing since sliced bread. We are the entire organic flaxseed and multi-grain loaf. We were only divided into pieces for being too influential as a whole. We are the soul that breathed into dust, giving a heartbeat to dirt. And then it rained, so we patterned the mud onto linen and turned it into artwork. We are the sun's inspiration to burn through clouds when skies overcast. And we are so selfless that we'll feed our families first and scrape the pot to eat last. We are the royal grace that walks beneath purple satin head wraps. We are the religion that adorns itself in ankle-long dresses and church hats. We are the bolts of lightning that massage the globe to mold its continental features. Then we got mad at Rome for stealing our thunder, so we struck it and caused a lean in the Tower of Pisa. We were the strength to Julius Caesar, mother of Moses, David, Solomon, and Jesus. We are the swollen bare breast that kept all of our kings alive. We are the carved face and beaded waist that distinguished African tribes. We are the soldered brass symbol that dangles some sturdy earlobes. We are the enlightened spirit that never slips beneath the rim of our high cheekbones. We are the ancient wisdom snuggled within the tangles of matted dreadlocks and the history caught in the coils of picked afros. Our hands are the sacred scales that gave value to diamond, to gold, and our skin makes love to the sun, leaving our age a story untold. We are not just queens, y'all. We are the order of angels that created the throne. We are the unbruised flesh that survived beatings 5 centuries long. We are the cast iron womb that everybody calls home, and because of all that, my girls, we will forever be the muse to a perfect poem. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Alderwoman JoCasta Zamarripa, and I get to introduce the first of today's 3 honorees to be acknowledged by the Common Council. I will introduce my honoree from the 8th Aldermanic District. And first, of course, I want to wish everybody a happy Women's History Month. But today we are joined by my constituent, Paula Perez Monroy, who moved to Milwaukee from Mexico in 2001 in search of a better life for herself and her family. After years of dedication and hard work, today Paula and her family are successful small business owners with Restaurante y Taqueria La Esperanza, located at 2028 West Mitchell Street, which opened in 2019. Used to be the old George Webb. Paula inspires us with her determination, her skill, and her positive spirit. And I'll have you know that both myself and my predecessor, now State Representative Bob Donovan, both call La Esperanza one of our favorite haunts, and you'll often find us there having meetings, enjoying coffee, and the like. Paula is a Spanish speaker, so I'm going to say a couple of sentences for her in Spanish as well. Paula, muchísimas gracias por su liderazgo como una dueña de un negocio pequeño, como una latina de nuestra ciudad de Milwaukee y como una inmigrante de Wisconsin. Haces de nuestra comunidad un lugar mejor. Paula, thank you so much for your leadership as a small business owner, as a Latina Milwaukeean, and as an immigrant Wisconsinite. Your work in our community makes us a richer, prosperous, and much better place. Muchísimas gracias.
So I'm next up to give my award. When I was told we would be honoring a woman of our choice, the person I'm about to honor is not a resident of my district. She's an honorary resident of my district. I believe she's actually a resident of a Representative Rainey's district. But there is not a town hall meeting, there is not an event that I do that I cannot count on, her presence, support, and volunteerism. Today, I am choosing for 2023's Women History Month to honor Ms. Jeanette Herrera. Instead of reading a citation to you all, I'll just speak from the heart. Ms. Herrera has been a part of my life for most of my life. She is a person that is not only in the community and of the community, but has played a special role in my life because she was friends with my mother. So whether it was community gatherings, Kwanzaa celebrations, MLK celebrations, or anything of that nature, I've always had Ms. Herrera in my life. She has been a civil rights activist. She has been a fighter for our children as an educator for many years within the school system. And even now, she is the founder and sponsor of King Fest. And as a part of it, she brings a national civil rights activist who she happens to know and be in relationship with because of the work that she's done, not just here in Milwaukee, but across the nation in our fight for civil rights as well as reparations for people of African descent in this country. But as a part of that King Fest, she even gives an annual scholarship to young scholars to aid them on their journey through college. Some may remember her this past budget season as she came to testify in support of MLK Library, because even though she is a retired educator, she still spends many of her evenings at MLK Library in my district helping to support the young people and tutor young people there. Her commitment to this community, her commitment to change and to our young people is unparalleled. And just a personal story, when I had my daughter 14 years ago, she was actually out doing some political work for then candidate Obama, doing some door-to-door stuff. She was with my mother doing doors for candidate Obama when my mother got the call that I had went into labor. But she's actually the person that got my mama there in time at the hospital to bear witness to me bearing my first child. She is also the person who in my mother's final day was by her side as well. So I'm honored to be able to give her flowers while she is here. So please help me honor Ms. Jeanette Herrera.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Congratulations. As we complete our program here, I have one more citation, and I hope you can continue to see the story of how women touch so many people's lives in so many ways. We have a business owner, we have a community activist, and I think now what I have in Kelsey Kaufman here is a little bit of both, and I wanted to bring her up. We have Kelsey Kaufman, who you may know is the owner of the Cactus Club. And so you might think, well, what an interesting story we have here. Well, Kelsey is a forward thinker, is an organizer at heart, and during the pandemic, actually purchased a concert venue in the middle, at the beginning and in the middle of the pandemic. Could you imagine how scary of an endeavor that could be? Well, like most of us women, fear was not something that she was dominated by. Creativity led the way. And in that, the space that she hosts on Wentworth Avenue in Bayview is just an example of the energy that she shares with our entire community. It is a space, and she's transformed it to be completely all-inclusive. We say all-inclusive, but what do we really mean by all-inclusive? Because some people, it means a little something different too. The doors are open to all ages, all genders, all sexualities, all races, not just opened, but welcomed. That is a different and unique kind of space. We need more of those types of spaces in the city of Milwaukee. The reason I thought about her is when she bought that historic club, she wanted to keep the roots as a rock venue and space for musicians and artists. She also transformed it, like I mentioned, to be radically inclusive for all artists, patrons, guests of all ages, genders, and abilities. In fact, why I wanted to bring up abilities again is her work was recently highlighted by our Division of Disability Rights because she went out of her way to help us change the ordinance here in the city of Milwaukee to make it even easier on businesses to become more accessible. It was not just a physical barrier for some to enter a space like this and many other spaces in our city, but it was a financial barrier for businesses to accommodate the needs that are people's right. So this just demonstrates how Kelsey is an outstanding individual, a female business owner, and I can't wait to see what the next few years have for her as she continues to transform this space into a place where everybody can feel safe, welcome, and most of all, produce the art that is so desperately needed in our community that brings so many people joy and a space to share their own experiences, much like we've heard today. And I do have to uplift Ms. Muhammad's performance. I'm gonna go ahead and say that I think that was the best thing I've ever heard in the chambers of the City Hall and the City of Milwaukee. And that is the type of art and performance and story sharing that Kelsey helps bring to the City of Milwaukee. But I wanted to thank you, that really meant a lot to me. So with that, I'd like to bring Kelsey up. She's joined by her partner, Rory, and her mother, Eileen, 2 women in her life. So thank you. And congratulations to Kelsey. Okay. With that, it does conclude our program and celebration. We want to thank everybody. Thank you to all of the staff, women leaders, our male leaders. Thank you for supporting us, and thank you for taking time out of your day. We will now just take a moment for some pictures, but please enjoy your cookies and coffee on the way out. And we'll take the accolades and compliments all month long, even all year long. But thank you so much and have a great day.